Monday night, we're going to the top of the world. Krista just got out of work. Figured we'd go for a little hike. About 80 degrees today. Take advantage of the nice weather. About a 3-mile hike. About 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Pretty nice view at the top. Hoping to get the drone up in the air, get some pictures. Should be fun. Ton of mountain laurel this year. I feel like there's more this year than recent years. Almost there. Chris, what do you think?
Get that off of me.
This is wild looking. Just all rock. Uh-oh. Which way? We're sweating. Almost to the top. We're getting there. We're on top of the world. We just can't see the rest of the world yet.
We're gonna cool down, take a little bath.
Well, what now? How are we gonna get across? Oh.
Yoo-hoo!
Really nice night. Temp's dropping a little bit. Krista hates drones.
I don't like them.
I think we got some cool shots though. Had some snacks. Heading back down now. All right, I think that's it for tonight. Let's just jump right into the edit. All right, so we're back at the desk. I didn't get a ton of photos I was thrilled with, but this one came out pretty cool, I think. It's got some potential, kind of showing the scale of the view and how high up we were in comparison to some of the trees in the road and riverbed below. So I figured we could run with this one. So first thing, it looks a little off center to me. So I'm just gonna straighten it out a bit. And then I'm going to mess with, I think I'm gonna crank the contrast here. This is way more than I would normally do, but for this picture, it was a little hazy out that day, as you can see up in the top section here. So just wanted to help offset that some, bring the highlights down around there. Maybe bump the shadows just a tad. Again, just kind of mess around, play with it a bit. Really bump there on the white, bring the blacks down. Again, this is just emphasizing the contrast in the photo between the whites and the blacks. bump the texture just a little bit so we could pick up some of the texture in the trees. Being that they're so far away, I decided to pull focus on the landscape rather than my shoes or legs. So we got a little wiggle room here to play with. You could always decrease the texture and the clarity to soften up the image a little bit, give it more of a film look, but for this one, I'm gonna bump them up just a little bit. And then for the dehaze, like I said, it was pretty hazy that day, just before sunset. So, you know, it was pretty overcast. So I'm gonna dehaze quite a bit, actually. Again, this is more than I would normally do, but I actually think there's enough wiggle room there where it doesn't look bad. Maybe bump the vibrance just a touch and jump into the tone curve. I typically just set these 3 points to differentiate between shadows, midtones, and highlights, create some flexibility there. So I like to lift the blacks just a little. See, you could see in my shoes them coming up a bit, and then I'll bring them back down just a little. Maybe raise the midtones just a touch so you could see that contrast between where there was some cloud coverage versus some sun peeking through. So we're looking up in this area. And then raise the highlights to emphasize that just a bit more. And then I'm going to jump into the blue and yellow tone curve, because I want to play with some of the blue tones I'm seeing up here. I could actually just grab a point. Okay, so I kind of have an idea where it is now. Somewhere around there. I'm just gonna go all warm tones for this photo, pretty much. Kind of eliminated a lot of the blue there with those adjustments. Just bringing them down to more of a yellow. Yeah, I mean, it's summer, it's June, so we could roll with the rich greens. Okay, we'll jump into some of the specific colors now. Play with the reds a little bit. Really, I don't think there's much red there. Maybe some in my skin tones, but really not much. Yeah, you could see my kneecap kind of changing a bit. The oranges is where probably going to need the most adjustments, just because this is a little too strong right now, a little too vibrant, a little too bright. I might have to mask out some of that, so definitely bring it down some. Let's see if we bring the vibrance down yeah, that's much better. Bring that vibrance down, but then it's still really orange, so I don't want too much there. Jump into the yellow. So this is going to start affecting some of my skin tone, but some trees as well. So let's see how much. I think a little yellow in the trees is okay. It's just very green right now. We'll play with that a bit. Yeah, you could see some pop in there. Bit rich. Greens, let's see. I think the greens are actually looking pretty good right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna reset them. Maybe bring it down just a touch. And then give it a little pop to pop some of those highlights, like I said, where the sun was hitting some trees but not hitting others. I think it'll be nice. So far, I'm kind of liking the way this looks. Let's sharpen a bit. So if you hold down Option on a Mac, it shows you what part you're sharpening. So the areas in white would be the areas getting sharpened. So in this case, we'll refine it a bit. I have the profile corrections on. Let's see what a little vignette would do. I think it'll help narrow the focus a little bit. Just because I kind of had the leading lines going with my legs right to the path of the road and the river. So introducing some vignette back in, it's too much, but I think a little bit helps guide your eye a little bit more. And let's just mess with the calibration of the red, green, and blue really quickly. Okay, so this is really just affecting my leg at this point. Could dial in some of that. So the green. I think we could get it a little more yellow. It's like very, very green right now. And then the blues, let's see. Yeah, it's kind of affecting everything a little too drastically for my preference. Maybe I'll just get a little bump. Nothing much. You don't want to get carried away. I don't know. I think my legs are they're kind of distracting away from the view a little bit. I might mask out just with the brush tool and just bring down the highlights in my legs a bit just to make them a little less distracting from the rest of the photo. Much better. So you definitely still notice them, but they're not popping off the bottom of the screen. Bring down the shadows a bit too. Maybe the whites, just a tad. Actually, I think I went a little too far here, so maybe we'll just dial all the adjustments back just a little bit to about 85. So far, I'm kind of liking it. Let's see if we did a little crop. Just want to go custom. I'm going to take a little of my knee, but still show it just because the other leg isn't showing it completely. Actually might spot remove just these few little distractions. Little house. Yeah, and I think that's it. Call it good. All right, so here's the before and here's the after. Before, after. Nothing too crazy, just some subtle changes. Brought some life into the photo, but didn't get too carried away.